Ready to launch the journey from concept to conquest that every app must take. Hello, everyone. I am Tessa with the IdeaPros marketing team, and I'm going to bring in two people today. We have Fred Cary, who is IdeaPros, the co-founder of IdeaPros, and then we have Michael P. Ryan. I'm going to put the P in there because they'll see it on Facebook, and he is the creator of Recite. So welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hi, everybody.
And I know we're going to give everyone a moment to pop in, but if you're live with us, please just hashtag live. And we're gonna hit the ground running. We have some exciting things. First of all, your app is launching, so I have some fun stars behind me to celebrate. I don't have a champagne bottle or anything like that, but you can pretend. And so we're so proud of you for that. And I know we're going to get to find out a little bit more about the journey. But Fred, do you want to take it away? And I'll give you guys the full screen here.
Well, I was going to go grab a champagne bottle. Now that you said that, I happen to have an open one in the fridge, but I'll wait. Yeah, this is an exciting moment. The purpose here. And I promise this will be our last app show for a couple of weeks. I think we've done 3 weeks in a row of apps, but it makes up for all of our app partners wondering where all the app shows are. So I think we got that covered for a while. So it's a big journey to go from your concept to a launch. And I think in this particular case, Michael, I'll have you talk in a second here. That journey started well before you found me and us at IdeaPros, and I'm happy you did. And we're at the point now where really the goal for us is to get this into the beta test form. We want you all to download it, make comments, help Mike really fix out any bugs. He has a whole lot of interest, and before we turn all those lights on, we want to do the last stage of live testing of it. So let me introduce Mike, and why don't you make a couple of preliminary words here about how that journey started for you.
Thank you, Fred and Tessa. Yep, it's been both two journeys, I guess. The journey, the need for Recite, which we're about to show you here, and as Fred said, I'm hoping put in the hand of a few thousand people, help me break it, give me some feedback. In the count section, you'll see the let me hear. It's a quick survey. That's intent. We've been working on the last couple of years, about a year in development or whatever. There's a whole bunch of phases. I don't know if you want me to, what part you want me to talk about yet, but
sure.
So the concept of Recite, it's all here. It came from, I was involved in let's say, like the world's worst legal matters, I guess. I had a legal matter, lots of attorneys, different things, a divorce, lots of evidence. I'd have, collect emails, screenshots, photos, whatever, agreements, in the heat of the moment stuff. And all that stuff is evidence for my lawyers. And because I was overseas at the time, I'd have different jurisdictions of lawyers and different specialties, I guess. I had 9 lawyers. I do currently have 9 lawyers. Crazy.
Nice.
But with that, Recite is focused on the receiver of information. So you're receiving all this information, now you want to find it. Or, I was guilty of it too. My lawyers, I would send them an email, I'd send them a text or IM them or whatever. So they had the same problem as me. They're receiving all these different sources of information. What do I do with it? And at some point later in the case, my lawyers would say, I know you sent this to me before. Can you find it again? So I'd have to. And I'd have to do all this stuff manually, creating folders or email buckets, different screenshots. It was a very time-consuming manual mess. So now Recite, web version, which is active. We're going to show you right now. It's up there. It's on Google Play currently. You can find it on Google Play. We can put that link up there too. iOS, I just saw 10 minutes ago. It's going to the store. iOS has been kicked it back a few times, which is great. We're going to get it right. We want the perfect product, and I'm asking everybody on this call, share this. I need live people.
Right. Well, it's exciting. I am going to show it. And then how about we go ahead and start with that? So you've told us a little bit about the app. I will show what it it does, and then we'll kind of loop back around about your journey and how it was getting to this point. So,
how long were you on that journey before you found us, by the way?
I needed this thing started in 2013. About 2 years ago or something, I lost an emergency case, and I came home, and I couldn't find something that was helpful for me. And I'm like, God damn it, I need this app. So I started the journey, and really excited. To that point, I knew I needed it. I wanted to build it myself. I'm in that IT kind of field for my education. I work in a different field, but I knew how to do it, and I was trying to find a time to do it. And finally, I came back, and I'm like, man, I need this now. So luckily, I Google search, I found you, and we started. And it's been amazing. You got to be patient, because this is coming from that field. I understand. You change one thing, it breaks the other 10 things that worked yesterday.
we just talked about that.
Well, and also besides that, it's not just about building an app. It's finding your right position so that when you build that app and you are one of those 10,000 apps a day that get launched, that you're going to have a place in the world that people are going to find important. So the building, I always liken building the app is building the roadway that gets your information to the people that you want to give it to, and vice versa. And you have to build a really good roadway, but you also have to have something that's really good at the end of that roadway, and that's why it takes longer than just go out and build what you tell an engineer to build. And
yeah, and you can show you can't see it on my screen, but over here that I have a pulsar, the one that I sent Jarek, is over here is my original wireframes, right? So it's a constant reminder, but I just looked at it today. It's changed. It's changed quite dramatically from that, just by, what you can do. You get in there and like, oh, you can't do. There's one thing that iOS is not going to let us do, so we pivoted from that. We pivoted a lot, I would say, and it's focused more into some other thing. The collaboration share part of it is awesome now.
Good.
Oh, well, you make me want to look at it right now. So I'm just going to pop it up here.
Let's hope your video works.
Let's check it out. Right? Well, and I don't know if you want to explain while it's
absolutely.
Here. Just tell me if you want me to pause it, as you know.
Yep. So, like as it says, Recite consolidates all methods of communication in one location. And when you log in eventually, you'll see that the top folder, it will be your folders. You can break out contacts. So essentially, you pick a contact, a name, a project, you name anything you want. You can associate currently emails, right? Email connections. You connect an email, and you can.
Hold on, I'm going to slow it down because it was going way too fast. It was way too fast. Okay, so this is basically this. We're going to start here at the first step. So where we are here, you're picking folders.
Yep, this is the user's account on here. So this link right here will go into all the folders, and it also shows all the folders down below. So all the list of things below there are a contact or a project or whatever you want to pay attention to. You can tag those things. And actually, I've had advantage over all the single parents or the parents trying to teach it last month. I've been using it for teachers. So I had all the teachers, the different schooling stuff in there, and it would bucket. And I would say, I know Emily sent me this. I go in right there. I can find that Zoom link. You correlate projects around email addresses if you like or not. And then you can go into folders. We're not showing the folders in this video, but.
All right. So then that's the contacts folder, individual contacts folder. Okay.
The top thing will show you all your folders, and each contact you can break out specific folders for those people. So like my divorce lawyer, say, these are the folders my folders can build under there, and I can share those folders with my lawyers, or my lawyers could be on Recite and they could share their folders with me. Everybody can set up how they like to organize, because my lawyer might want different folder types, and he just says drop it in there. So you can do it through the app, you can do it web-based, but you can also do like on the devices you take a screenshot in Facebook or whatever. You can share to Recite and pick the folder you want to drop it into. And it's just
oh my gosh. Well, I mean, from a project manager standpoint, this is amazing. I know you talk about the different types of things there's different media that you can put in here, right? So you said email, text, is that right? Text there, or is it email?
Text would be in a screenshot version 2 potentially. And part of this too, I have Facebook pages is already on the plan for next. So a business, 84 million people on pages, and they'll have their pages and emails on one spot. Currently, it's built right now. As you can see the screen, when it says emails, that means there's an email address associated with that project, contact, or whatever. And when your email is hooked to it, it filters out the rest of the noise. These are the 10 people I want to pay attention to. There they are. And you don't see the rest of the nonsense. You can.
So Fred would tell me, hey, I'm the one that needs to be in there so you can see everything from me, but not anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you're in an email, there's a link that says add to contacts, which automatically throws it in here, recite, and then it'll build you out a folder structure. In the folder structures you can too, and if you want to continue the video, well.
Yeah. And by the way, the focus here is on the lawyer and the divorce, but this is as you pointed out, Tessa, and I think Kristen said so on her comment right here. And yes, I do have a Goliath chair up front. I'll answer all the comments at once. This can be really for any type of either business or even personally. If you want to gather information, you want to gather data. I can also envision, and we haven't talked about this, Mike, but really on a personal kind of the family album type of things, where you can create this as this. In fact, screw all the lawyer shit. We're gonna pivot again.
No, absolutely.
But to have family albums that have everything, photos and Facebook quotes and notes back and forth from grandma and everything. There's so many different applications for this.
Absolutely. My painter, Crawford, my man, I hope you're watching. He said, yeah, a guy contacted me a couple of years ago, and he said he didn't remember what he did. He said, this would be perfect for my business. I can put in, the things I use, the before or after is organized. And when he called again, he would just click that customer's name and contact, and all his stuff is right there.
Everything he has, all sorts of communication and data.
Yeah, it would blow away. You'd be so impressive to your clients because you'd have it all at your fingertips.
Yep.
So the sharing feature, I'm just curious because that's obviously you were talking about from a lawyer to, you to your lawyer. Would that work if you have multiple people, like a team that you're having to share it with?
Well, they share one folder can be shared with 1,000 people, and their folders can be shared with other people. It's all interchange and connectable. And you, when you're in Recite, we're not going to show it, but in the folders, you can, if you went to the top one, you'd see my personal folders, and you'd see like Fred's folder that he shared with me.
Just like a file structure.
And just boop, boop, boop. And everybody gets notified. There's notification, Fred shared a file with you. You can click in there. It brings up, you can comment on it immediately. It comes back, Fred comment on it.
And we're looking at the web version, just to clarify, because this looks huge, and you guys are probably thinking this looks more like a website, which right now we're on the web version. So the cool thing is that you can work from web to mobile, right? So so if you have, like most of us, we have a lot of files that are on both. It goes across there. So right now we're looking at something that talks about a template. So if it was my business to have a certain number of folders for every single client, I could create a template of like the folders that I'm gonna, like for us with media. I mean, we have logos, we have, documents, we have research, all that needs to be kind of broken out into folders. So we can do that. That's perfect.
Yep.
And then collaborators. So I see that we've got collaborator option, and you can add into that.
Yeah, and that's a whole list of all your different files. When you're in an individual file or folder, the little ... you can share right there into who's it. You can control all that right from the actionable portion of it.
Excellent. So enables email connections. You were talking about this, so it could connect to your email like is there a requirement? Does it have to be like Google based, any email?
Most of them should work. I mean, that's hopefully they don't break, but I think they're working. If they don't, the survey.
If they don't, use the feedback form and let us know, right?
But yes. Currently, I think you can do. 3 emails right now. We're probably going to version 2. We're going to go. We're seeing what the customer wants, what everybody wants right now. So this is MVP they call it, I guess, in the multiple. You can put. I can put several email addresses on there, and right now you can each contact is allowed in the personal email 1 email, but we're going to build out. You can put 10 email addresses under a subject. I think of like I was using it for soccer, like kids soccer.
Oh yeah.
I can put all the coaches'
Parents,
email addresses and
coaches.
whatever like that, and that just will come under the soccer kids sport bucket.
Got it. When you
Fundamentally, we have become, it's different than it used to be in the old days. We'd mail a letter or we'd make a phone call. That was it. Now we've become so diverse in our forms of communication. We have communications everywhere. It's emails, it's text messages, it's Messenger, it's Facebook, Instagram. We have, our persona exists in many, many, many different platforms. So it's incredibly hard to be organized. All these little digital silos are all over the place, and it's hard to remember. You know, you can keep copies of your letters and everything that you've sent to your girlfriend for 6 months, which I did when I moved to the US from France, and we'd send them every day. Then we send them 3 times a week. Then we send them once a week. And then she told me to screw off after 6 months. But I had copies of all that stuff in one place. But now everything is everywhere. And this literally organizes your life in every single way that you could possibly imagine if you want it organized. But go ahead, let's plow through this here.
Yeah, that's okay. So this is where we get feedback, right? So this is important. If you guys decide you want to be on the beta, and we hope you all do, so you can test it out for us. I am going to put the link in before we end. I just don't want you to leave yet. So this is where you would go to give feedback if there's something glitchy or something awesome that you want to report back.
Yep.
Perfect. And then there's the desktop site button, so they could go to the desktop version.
Yep.
Great. Well, I think that's it. So that's a walkthrough. I'm going to stop the screen, and then I know, Fred, there were a couple things we wanted to talk about as far as like this journey. So I'm going to let you go ahead and answer those questions, or ask him those questions.
Yeah. I prefer to see him bigger.
I know, I'm working on it. Working on it. There you go.
So I think one thing, I mean, it's obvious taking a look at this that there's a lot of stuff that had to go into it to put all these moving pieces together and to make all these things work. It's not just the physical representation that you see in your face. It's everything behind the scenes that makes all those things happen. And you know, you yourself, you said that, hey, I'm in this business, and yet you came to us, and we'll talk about some of the reasons besides just the time it takes to build these things. But I think the important thing that I really want people to understand right from the very beginning is what you came in with is not what we're exiting with.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with Jarek, hopefully you're my friend. You're on. Jarek did a smashing job on the wireframes. You know, you took a subset of that, and we did a survey, I think, with a couple hundred people.
Yeah.
They came back, I think, like 190 of them or something that said, "Give me this now." So hopefully you're on the call. Yeah, it's. I'm in the business. I do this. You know, I'm in the Department of Defense now, but all my degrees are in IT and all those things. I've built websites, and this is actually, I think this is like my 4th little project that, you know, I've kind of done before. I've had websites and that kind of stuff before. So I know it takes long, but me, Michael, excited for this to get out. Sometimes I have to fight myself. I'm like, man, what is taking so long, you know?
Right.
And but really, when you think about it, it's the way we do it. It's all a process, feedback. And now, you know, this is another step right here. We may come out of this next week with something that looks totally different, right? This is the process.
Yeah, depending on the feedback we get, for sure. You know, and you could have just gone to an app developer, and that app developer would have built you whatever you told them to build, and you would have been live right now, but without any customers probably. And I think that's the thing that a lot of our new partners or wannabe partners ask the worst question you could possibly ask, and that is, you know, how are you going to build this app, or how many apps have you built, or how long does it take to build my app? All those questions are really irrelevant, because You're not building an app, you're building a business. Your app is your roadway, as I said before. It's as hard as it is, and the fact that it's the hardest thing of everything we do, I would say, it's the least relevant. And it's the least relevant because you could build the greatest thing in the world, and if you don't have it positioned right, if you haven't researched it right, if you haven't understood where your audience is, and if you haven't infiltrated that audience, so we're going to talk about that in a second, and you don't have a great launch strategy, you're not going to get anywhere. So if you want to go find an app company to build your crappy idea, and I'm going to say crappy idea, Mike, because all of our ideas are crappy before we think them through. You know, they're great in the sense that this is a need, but they're crappy in the sense if you try to execute it right away. If you say, I'm going to go to an app company, you know, I can go have an app built for $50,000, $100,000, and they'll be done in 6 months. Yep. You're going to be there with the 10,000 other apps that are going to be released next Thursday, and you're not going to go anywhere. So I really want to hone in on the fact that while we were doing all this development, there was a lot of things going on in the background strategically, right? You joining groups is a really great example. Maybe we could talk about that for a minute.
No, absolutely. There's a ton of work in the background, and you're absolutely right. If an app company, you say, I want this, they're, you know, engineers, they want, you tell them what they'll build in this. What do you mean? It works. It does this, you know. With IdeaPros, you get, you know, the thought behind it. Does this make sense? The flow, the testing, you get all the other stuff that's really the most important part of it. The end product is not the end product. It's figuring out the right product to put out there.
Yeah.
Right? And it's
and you roll up your sleeves and started making friends.
Absolutely. I belong to a group, you know, for my divorce situation on Facebook one day, and I was just part of the group. I go back to the group one day, and it was closed down. They couldn't support it, so I volunteered to help. And you know, I'm excited to get this out for them. This is the original core divorce thing, but you know, yes, it's built for everything. This thing is unbelievable for everybody. Like I used it for the schooling stuff, though. I use it all for my daughter. It's all centered around different things, whatever. But it's perfect for all that. But yes, I've been, you know, that summer, a few months after we think, I took a social media class. I'm reading a book. I'm in the groups. My own personally, I control groups with like 33,000 people in it or something. Westford Friends, hopefully you're on there. I can share it with them. Westford, Mass. All right.
Yeah. So think about that. He has spent the time while we've been pivoting and strategizing and figuring out how to build the best product ever, not just hey, let's build this guy's app how he wants it and get it out. If you want that, go get it. Good luck. Let me know how it goes. The fact is, we spent all this time really looking at everything, and Mike was really big in this. And you hear what he said? He took social media courses because you want to be your own boss when this thing goes out. You want to be able to understand how to do things. You don't want to just sit there and be in the dark. And so, following our direction, he went and joined all these groups. He referenced 33,000 people. He has 33,000 likely customers of his that can really use this, and he's their boss. He's the administrator. He's the expert in the field, and he knows that they can all use it because they've all been in his position. Yep. And now he's a respected authority, and when he turns the green light on, hopefully you get 30,000 downloads just from the groups that you manage. So this is all a process. You're building a business. You're not building an app. The app looks awesome. It's gonna really be flawless. But again, that's a road. You need to build that model towards success. That road has to deliver a solution that people really need and deliver it in a way that people are going to get it, download it, love it, and become passionate advocates of your brand. And I think that's exactly what you've done with this. You've done an amazing job, and you know, as much as you give us kudos, you've been in the trenches for the last several months, working directly with the team and helping us in the process of shaping this.
Yeah, they love me.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I do know that really at the end of our time though, Fred, but I want to make sure that you have time to cover everything you want to say. We do have a link in the post now. Jarek, thank you for putting that up. So we do have the link to the Google Play Store. And then when you go to the Recite, we actually have a website version that you guys can log into that gets you into our beta program too. Use the email and the password part. Don't use the Apple or Facebook yet. Just create your login, right? Is that how we want them to do it, Michael? Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't checked. It was broke yesterday, but they may be fixed by this morning. Dev's been hammering away the last 24 hours pushing stuff. And I just looked at an email. Hopefully we're about to be in Apple here in the next 24 hours. We're in Google Play right now. Beta.getrecite.com. We'll go to the Google Play version of it. Recite it's all here.com goes to the web-based version. But really you can hit the web-based version on a mobile. It's the same thing. It'll just appear in your browser opposed to native in an app. But they're all coming. Google Play app's up, web-based is up. It will work on all the devices via the URL, and then Apple hopefully in 24 hours.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yes, definitely. So check our comments for those, and we'd love to get beta testers in. And there was one question, and it's a pretty good one, and it's about security, because this is, if you're working with lawyers, I mean, obviously you've had to think about this a lot.
Oh, damn, we didn't think about that.
No. So I think that, can you just explain? I mean, it's all your information. It's protected. I'm sure that's a question people would like to have answered.
Absolutely. We were using the most latest, greatest security. I don't know technically what the 256 or what encryption it is in there, but everything's secure. We don't store anything on our own servers. The storage is third party, big, huge companies.
Yeah. Hey, and by the way, that data is a lot more secure than the original version of it that you have on Facebook and you have on Instagram and you have in your email. When you put it in here, you want to talk about security? We got your ass.
Yep.
How about a closing thought? Do you want to do it, Tessa, or would you like me to?
No, I'm gonna leave you to do that for sure. I'm gonna make you here. Let me remove me.
Look, folks, when people come up with an app idea, they think they need to build an app. And there are 100, 1,000, 10,000 app companies that'll do that for you. That's the biggest mistake you can make. You don't want to build an app, you want to build a business. And that business involves a solution. And that solution uses delivery systems to get it to your customers. And one of those delivery systems is an app. So if you know everything, if you completely understand your market, you know where to go and do your research, you know where your target audience is, you know how you're going to reach them and slay dragons, then go call an app company. But if you want to build a successful business that happens to use the delivery system like we're doing with this particular project, give us a call, build a company, and then we'll focus on the app as part of that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, Michael, it wasn't so bad being on the live, huh? Thank you. Thank you for being here. I am going to take a couple minutes and say hi to everyone that's in the feed, but we are here every Friday at noon Pacific time, guys. So mark to get reminders so you can find out more, about the journey. And we just give a ton of information for entrepreneurs, right?
Yep. And I'm going to go download me an app.
Right. I know I've already got it myself too. So I will let you guys go, and I'll, if you want to stay, Michael, you're more than welcome. I'll let Fred go, and then we'll just put up some comments from the feed.
Come out and see you soon.
I can't wait. Take care.
Thanks. Okay, guys. So I'm going to just hop over here. You had so many wonderful comments on the side, but I want to pop up a couple because like Kristen saying, good job. And she loved the advice on how to launch the app. And oh my gosh, there's so many of them. So Jarek says, thank you. He's having it framed because you were talking about that.
Right there. You can't see it.
And, we've got, actually we have a lot of people that might be from your base. So let me put it up. This is a great business. Brilliant. Aziza is one of our partners, and we have Oh, organization is very important for every business. Thank you, John. Yes, definitely. And then I think, it was an awesome. And if you guys have any questions, I know you mentioned before that you have a review up on Trustpilot, and you actually about IdeaPros and what your journey was, right? So if they have any questions, they can go check that out.
Yep, download the app. Let's hear it.
Please download the app.
Yeah, please. I want to get this as perfect as I can for you. I built this for you. Hopefully I don't need it for my other first situation.
Right. Well, that's where a lot of the apps come from, right? They come from us needing it, or any product or app. They come from a need. And so this was definitely one of those big needs. Oh, sorry. Let me put this one up. I missed that one. Okay. So Mary, thank you. I didn't get to put up everyone. So you guys had such great things to say for Michael. So he's going to go back in and check out the feed and see all the wonderful things that people said. We'll see you guys next week, and definitely keep us posted, Michael, on how it's going and what things are changing.
Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.